Let's welcome Emmanuel from LendingRobot.
Thank you. Thanks, Simon. Good afternoon, and congratulations. You're almost done through 2 days of the LendIt Conference. So as a reward, I'll try to be quick. As you know, investing in peer lending provides pretty good performance and relatively limited risk. But it's not perfect, especially when trying to maximize returns, and especially for retail investors. There are a couple of challenges. First, investing is kind of complicated. Second, investing is time-consuming. Third, investing requires to compete with other investors, and some of them are pretty fast. Our background at LendingRobot is in cloud services. My co-founder and I were working together before at Microsoft and search engine. And so when we faced those challenges, our approach was that should be done by software. It's not a job for humans, it's a job for software. So we began looking around for such software, could not find anything suitable, and we decided to build it. That's LendingRobot. So back to the first challenge. It's kind of complicated. We provide a lot of interactive charts on our website about the peer lending market. And here, for instance, you can see the historical returns on Lending Club based on loan grades and other characteristics. Even if both Lending Club and Prosper do an excellent job at grading, you can see that the grade doesn't tell the whole story. Finding good returns requires for investors to find the pockets where actually you will find the loans with the good criteria, which is kind of complicated. And you have to find multiple pockets, because sometimes you will find some properties, but there are only few loans available with those properties. It's a bit like looking for diamonds in the rough. So you need to first know what the diamond looks like. We do provide a tool, actually, to help investors finding those kind of criteria. Everything we do, we try to do it with a UI which is very simple to use. Because eventually we think that retail investors have better things to do in life than just invest on this kind of marketplaces. So here you can see the historical return for Lending Club. And, well, you can play with the criteria. Like, let's see how they change when we only invest in some specific loan amounts, you know? Or what if we only invest in, let's say, B and C? So everything is real time. It's based on all the historical data. And we really encourage people to play with that. And you have many different criteria. And this is a tool, actually, we offer to anybody. People don't even need to sign up or log in on LendingRobot. Now, once the criteria has been decided, how to select loans. This is done through the most important page on LendingRobot, which is the investment rules page. So here, for instance, you can see we created a rule that will invest in loan with purpose only of home improvement, wedding, and vacations. And we select a bunch of states where we want this. LendingRobot offers up to 40 different criteria on Lending Club and Prosper. And actually modifying the rule is super simple. Let's say, for instance, we want to add some FICO score into this. Once again, it's just drag and drop to select your criteria. Now, something which is kind of cool is actually you see here that we give an estimate almost in real time about the number of loans that will match that rule. So here I can be like very proud and very confident in my investment rule, but I see there's only about 20 loans per week. So it's not like I'll be able to invest $1 million with that. To support that, LendingRobot offers something kind of unique, which is a system of cascading rules. So I can add one rule after another, and they will be executed with a priority order. So let's add another rule. And you see this is rule number 2, which will appear below. And here we have another kind of criteria that we call loan popularity. So what is loan popularity? To give you an idea, I go here and check, for instance, the latest Prosper loans. So those loans were issued this morning at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., we took a snapshot of the Prosper loans. And then we wait. We wait 5 seconds. 5 seconds later, we take another snapshot. And we measure how much money has been funded, has been put inside those loans. Why? Because if someone makes enough effort to be able to automate his investment in 5 seconds, we think it's very unlikely they do that at random. So we think that eventually they did their homework and selected the loans with pretty good properties. And that's our popularity criteria. And actually, I know some people use that tool because if the loan is still available, like this one, they can click here and go directly to Prosper and buy it. So that's the second rule, the popularity rule. And you can mix everything. I mean, you can try to add like, I don't know, let's say you only want 36 months, and once again, we will give you like, in this case, there are way many more loans, like more than 300. So it's simpler to use this. We provide something even simpler than this. LendingRobot is an SEC-registered investment advisor, which I think gives our clients some tranquility, but at the same time, it allows us to make recommendations. So we have a third option, which is just going fully automated. And in that case, it will be based on our own engine. So we use some machine learning techniques to try to estimate what's the probability of default on a loan. And with that and the interest rate, we can get this highest expected return criterion. Now, about the second challenge, which is automation. So how do I automate once I have this? Like this. It's done. It's automated. No one, 24 hours a day, LendingRobot will check when new loans are available, invest 7 days a week, and at the end of every day, it will send an email saying, this is what LendingRobot did for you today. Third challenge, speed. What we build at LendingRobot is an engine which is super fast to submit orders. That's not unique. A lot of people do that. What's unique is the way we built it, because it's built so we can have thousands and thousands of people investing in parallel. Like 5 minutes before 6 p.m., when Lending Club will release new loans, we will compile custom investment function for each of our advisors. So they don't have to ping the database or anything like this. They are autonomous. 2 minutes before 6 p.m., the servers will begin to replicate. And we'll have like hundreds of servers in parallel, and we load those functions inside those servers. It's a bit like an infantry line, like this, and like bring the loans. And once the loans are available, we fire the investment orders. It takes about 850 milliseconds. We get back the confirmation right to the database, and the server goes to sleep for the next day, until 6 a.m. the next day. So that's the way it works. That's what we try to do with LendingRobot. Questions?
I'd like to ask, how has LendingRobot kind of, I assume you're taking credentials from investors to be able to make these transactions. Are you doing it solely through an API?
Yes,
or?
well.
I know the API isn't totally complete for some of the platforms,
yes.
So just kind of talk about that a little bit.
Yes, we really try to play by the rules. Like, for instance, there is no API to access Folio FN, so we don't do Folio FN. Prosper, it's entirely through their API. Lending Club, it's mostly through their API, yes. Okay. And so the principle with LendingRobot is your money is on the Lending Club or the Prosper account. We don't touch it. We can't even touch it, right? So the users, the LendingRobot users, they give us the credentials, the API credentials, and then that's how we'll actually submit orders on their behalf on their Lending Club or Prosper accounts.
Sure. Can you talk a little bit about, did you pick a server location based on geographically to?
No, not yet, not yet. I think right now it's, our win rate is pretty high, and we don't see so much competition that we need to go way below that 850 milliseconds now. Sure. Later on, we'll obviously have to race again, and we'll have to get closer and everything like this.
Anyone else got a question? Yeah.
No one knows. It's not free for retail, and we don't sell to institutional. We only sell to retail. Our fee structure is 45 points based on asset under management. And the way we calculate asset under management, it's your cash plus the remaining principal of the loans we invested on your behalf. So overall, and we build that on a monthly basis. So if you invest like $10,000 on Prosper, your LendingRobot bill will be about $4 a month. If the loan defaults, principal goes to 0, we don't have fees. If you sell it on Folio or something like this, we don't have fees. If it's repaid, we don't have fees.
And you guys are, if I can say this correctly, the first registered RIA approved, I mean, you know what I'm trying to say here,
yeah,
right?
I do believe we're the first registered investment advisor with the SEC, on the peer lending side for automation, yeah.
For automation?
Yeah.